content. That's what a good juicy hole sounds like. What the fuck is my life?
I'm gonna do something very poggers right now.
Dude, that was actually sick.
Was it?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great and amazing video with your boy, the Savior. That's right, welcome back to this glorious channel. That's right, where we keep it fresh. We definitely keep it moist, okay? I still have a few cum droplets up my nose, which is rather unpleasant, but hey, it's for content, okay? Anything for content. Consciousness and content. Those are the only two things that matter in life. We all know this. No, but seriously, I did that as an example just to show you how depraved people will go to chase fame, to chase the bag, okay? Although I don't give a shit about chasing the bag, I don't put value on how much money I have in the bank account, and as a smaller creator, obviously that's not my primary goal, is to make a lot of money, but for many people, the whole point of trying to blow up, trying to get internet famous, or whatever you want to call it, is to make money. For me, it's just trying to leave a name for myself, trying to build something that I'm actually proud of, and expose some of the evil in the world, and maybe even help some people, and just share my music and that kind of stuff. And I just really want to tackle this topic today, because I've had it in my mind for a long time, and that is fame. Okay, what is fame? What does being famous even mean anymore in this modern world of the internet, where pretty much anyone can become famous if they put in the time, the effort, the dedication, and they get lucky, or if they have some kind of skill or talent that, you know, brings attention to them. But at the same time, complete fucking idiots can also get famous. We see this very often with TikTok, okay, or Instagram, okay? And I've always thought of it like this, okay? There are many different aspects to being famous, okay? Whatever the hell that means. And first of all, if you are an online creator, or you post stuff online, okay, or whatever the hell your thing is, okay? If your primary reason is to get famous, then you're a fucking idiot, and you have no IQ, and I'm afraid that you're probably slightly brain damaged, or you're just a very egotistical, narcissistic asshole, and come to think of that, I think that's most people in my current generation. So, when I think about it, what exactly is fame? And fame is basically the clapping of tongues, as Seneca, a wise stoic, once said, okay? And in the grand scheme of the universe, it doesn't really matter, because, funny enough, everything is going to decay, everything comes and goes, that's life, okay? And not to sound morbid here, but really, what's important is not if you become famous, but what you're famous for. I think that's the big difference, okay? So, yeah, you can blow up, you can be really successful and famous and make lots of money, but you can be Jake Paul, or you can be Logan Paul, someone with not that much respect. People don't respect them, really, unless if you're a child, because they're complete goddamn idiots, and their behavior pretty much proves it, okay? Now, you can be an idiot like Pink Guy and iDubbbz over here, but they are respectable idiots because they do it in a way that's actually funny, that's actually intelligent, that actually makes good content. So you see there's a big difference. Although, yes, they are both idiots, and you could argue they don't hold much talent, except for Pink Guy, obviously, because he is actually a very good musician and a good content creator, and iDubbbz, I would say, is pretty good as well. But what I'm trying to say is, there's a difference between just being famous for the sake of being famous, and these idiots who blow up on TikTok, like the Lonely Boys, or whatever the fuck they're called, the Island Boys. That was quite a big thing that blew up recently. I think most people have already forgotten about them. But what I'm trying to say is, there's people who blow up, and then they just completely vanish straight away because they aren't actually famous for anything. And what I really want to talk about today also is a kind of retrospective of the movie Spree, which really got me thinking about all of this. Now, Spree is a movie about a YouTuber slash TikToker who is also an Uber driver pretty much, and he goes around killing people because he wants to get famous. and that's the only way he can think of actually getting an audience. And in the end, he actually goes over to another influencer, kills him, jacks his audience, and basically by the end of it, he does have like 50,000 people watching him, but at the end of it, he is also a murderer, a psychopath, and completely alone, and I think he ends up dead or arrested, I can't quite remember. But anyway, it's a pretty good film. It's, you know, kind of like a B-movie. It's not supposed to be taken super seriously, but at the same time, it really does highlight kind of the structure of the current world, and especially young people when they view technology and the internet and all of these social media platforms, that basically now, before you had to go through a certain niche way to become famous. You had to become an actor, you had to become a musician, and it was very hard to get into that market, and it's still incredibly hard. But the point is now, social media, okay, all of these different applications, they give anyone the chance. Anyone can literally pick up a camera and record something. But obviously that's not going to be enough. You actually have to have some kind of skill, you have to be somewhat interesting, you have to make actually good videos, or, you know, art or music or whatever it is. You've got to do something that is unique to you, okay? People don't get famous for being, only idiots blow up, like I said, for being just, you know, random, crazy, or memes or whatever. You know, living memes, they exist for a short period of time, but then they die off. So how I see it is there's kind of 3 levels to this monster that we call fame, that we hold in such high regard when we really shouldn't, because celebrity worship culture is very destructive. It's disgusting really when you think about it, and I'll get into that. But pretty much like I said, there's, you know, fame and what you're famous for, which is what really matters, okay? There's the fame and how long your fame lasts, how long you can hold your fame for and your attention for. For example, PewDiePie has been able to hold his influence for a very long time. And then finally we have people who are quote-unquote famous, okay? Who are, you know, like Instagram models, whatever the hell that means, TikTokers, or really don't have any kind of talent or interest to that person. They're usually just good looking, have a big, you know, wahoozoos, and a big, they usually have a big ass and big old bazungas, okay, and that's all it really takes. And they usually don't last that long. They might make a lot of money, but when it comes to the history books, let's just say they're not going to be in it. So that's what I mean when I talk about deconstructing fame. I feel like there are 3 main parts of fame, 3 main categories, which I just explained. But should we really hold fame in such a high regard? Should people be so focused on chasing fame? And you might think, Xavier, you're a goddamn hypocrite. You're on YouTube. You obviously want to have some kind of level of fame. And no, that's not actually true. I've thought about it a lot, okay? I've read a lot of philosophy around, you know, the clapping of tongues, as you can say, the idea of being well known, okay? I do like the idea of lots of people listening to me, I'm not gonna lie, or listening to my music. That makes me really happy. And of course I want to be well known, because that gives me success and allows me to continue my creative pursuit. But that's not why I'm doing the creative pursuit. That just allows me to continue my creative goals, okay? So that's the big difference, and I really want to stress that, because I don't want to come off as a hypocrite, because I really don't care about, you know, living the high life in Hollywood, whatever the fuck that means, or moving over to Los Angeles and having a big materialistic house that's completely empty and just full of empty rooms. I just, you know, that doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. So I feel like people really need to think about what exactly fame is, because it really shouldn't be held in such a high regard, because there is no difference between one person and another human being, okay? We are all just people. Some people might be more athletic, some people might be more talented in regards to, you know, creating artwork or cooking or crafting or whatever. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, and our culture celebrates certain traits more than others, and yeah, that's understandable, that's human nature. But we don't need to hold them at such a high regard where we view them as kind of like otherworldly, superhuman kind of figures, which a lot of people really do worship celebrities like that. They can't even imagine them existing as just normal everyday people, which is pretty sad if you think about it. And that kind of power and influence is what created the monster that is Hollywood and allowed them to get away with such, you know, disgusting stuff within their industry. and I just don't feel like that's that healthy. At the end of the day, we are all just people, we are all struggling with something, we all have hopes and desires, and, you know, for people who do praise others for their work or their videos, or, you know, if you're a YouTuber or whatever, when I get nice comments, that means so much to me, because, you know, I put in the work to do something creative. So of course some things deserve praise and respect. That's how you have people you idolize, and idolizing people can be healthy and really inspire you and, you know, help you go forwards with your own life. And that's what many artists are to many people, because their music or, you know, I don't know, drawings, paintings, whatever, you know, they inspire them with whatever it is. So of course that kind of level of respect and status does mean something. But then we have the other side, where people will do anything to chase fame. They will screw over people, they will actually, you know, just manipulate and neglect everyone around them just to pursue their idea of fame. There are many people who just use people to get what they want, or they'll do ridiculous things, like, for example, TikTok is a prime example of social engineering. People on TikTok are encouraged to take part in these dangerous trends where they actually, you know, commit crimes just for clout. And there have even been cases where people have actually murdered each other just to become TikTok famous, which is very disgusting and very sick. There are so many scummy ways that people try and become famous, and it's just very sad to see, because we hold this as such a high, you know, thing that everyone chases in society. You know, everyone thinks, you know, if only I was rich and famous, that would solve all my problems, or it must be an amazing life, but they never actually stop and really think about it. And I feel like people are, you know, waking up to the fact that, hey, that actually isn't what life is all about. Obviously, like I said, notoriety and status do mean something. That all depends on what you're known for, like I just said. But for people who are willing to actually commit crimes and, you know, kill each other just for clout, just to become TikTok famous, which we have seen in America especially, it's just, you know, like, what the fuck? What the hell is going on? You know, there's obviously something that's gone very wrong with our society and how we view fame, where it's really destructive, okay? So that's what Spree, the movie, is all about. And I just think it's a pretty good movie. It makes you think about it, especially if you create content yourself. It will make you really question, like, what the fuck? It really highlights the dark side of fame and the problem with fame and the other side of fame. So I really think that you should go and watch that movie, because it really does make you question things. So I'll just end this on a quote from Seneca, which goes like, you can tell the character of every man by the way he gives and receives praise. And I think that's pretty true. And that's really what it is at the end of the day. Is something praiseworthy or not? And there are so many people who just expect fame when they don't actually even contribute towards anything. And that's really the destructive thing about it. It's just how toxic and leechy it's become. So yeah, that's just my brief thoughts about fame and what is fame, the darker side of fame, and, you know, how TikTok fame is kind of very destructive, and all of this stuff, and just my own thoughts and beliefs around it and why I create stuff. So let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Have yourselves a great day. Peace out.